Saturday night, what a performance. Knocked out Robbie Lawler with a vicious missile of a right hand. He is the new UFC welterweight champion. He's our good pal, the chosen one, Tyron Woodley, and he joins us right now via the magic of Skype. There he is. Tyron Woodley, wow.
What's up?
Are you driving?
I am kind of driving, but I'm looking at the road.
Okay, you're making me nervous.
You can see me as I look at the road. I'll be okay.
All right. This is amazing. This is a first for us. Congratulations, my man. It's been less than 48 hours. How do you put it into words? What does it feel like? Are you down from cloud nine? Does it feel real? How can you put this into words?
Man, I have not entered cloud nine yet. I'm still in the state of shock. So it's hard to put it into words. I can't say that I'm surprised that I won the fight. I prepared to win the fight. I always saw myself as being a world champion, and this seems like it was my time. My last time fighting for a world title was in 2012. I really pushed it. I really forced it. I wanted it to be my time so badly, but I don't think it was in my cards. I don't think I was humble enough. I don't think that I would have done the right thing with the publicity I'm about to now that I'm the champion. I think God does things in mysterious ways, and now it's time for me to be the champion.
And so it's interesting because you said that you didn't feel nervous backstage, that you felt great, and it was amazing to watch you the days leading up to the fight because you were oozing confidence. I mean, I started to really believe like this man is on the verge of greatness. When did you start to feel that in this camp? How far before this fight did you really start to believe like this is a foregone conclusion? I just have to go out there and fight the guy.
I really couldn't put it in any better words. I call it a fixed fight, predetermined destiny. I feel like God was just telling me, Tyron, the battle is mine. You just go out there, be a willing vessel, relax, breathe, go out there and have fun and enjoy the moment. This is the first time in my career that I actually reached out and embraced the fans as I did the walk, as I call it the Valley of the Shadow of Death. As I did that walk, that was the first time I embraced the fans, and it felt good. It felt good to give my coach a hug. I had a small, brief moment with Dean. I said, hey, we're about to do it. I said, it's 10 years, man. I said, when I walk out of here, I'm the champion of the world. And he just smiled. And I've never seen a group of guys so calm, so relaxed, and so, focused on the mission at hand.
It was a beautiful moment to watch Dean, knees on the mat, his back towards you as Dana was putting the belt around your waist. I saw him. He was so emotional. It was really a beautiful sight to see. When you landed that punch, that right hand, did you know that was it? Could you feel that he was done?
Man, I knew it. And I knew I was going to land. I'm not going to say I just knew I was going to knock him out with that particular punch. I did know I was going to land that punch. And when I was in the backstage, I told the guys, because I sweat a lot, man. That's how I'm able to go from 205 to 170. And, this is my best weight cut. So I told them I'm sweating a lot. I need a bottle of water for each round, in between each round. And I said, you know what? I need a bottle of water. And then all my training partners looked at me like, I said, yeah, I need a bottle of water, singular. And I said that right as we walked out, and it was just a confidence that, not in the cockiness, but it was just, I was prepared, I was ready, and there was nothing that led me to believe it was not my time.
Carlos Condit just told us that you are one of the hardest hitters he's ever faced. He said you hit like a truck. But I'm wondering if you do believe that Robbie Lawler was ripe for the taking, that the damage he's taken throughout his career kind of converged with this moment. I'm not taking anything away from that punch because that would crumble me into nothing. But do you feel like that contributed to his demise on Saturday?
It's a couple things, and I won't give out everything because, Robbie is not going to sit there and sulk. He's probably going to be a little discouraged and a little mad, and then he's going to get back on the horse, and I might walk into him again, so I can't give out too many details. But we were really strategic on the placement of the punches. A friend of mine, Reed Kuhn, pulled some stats, and he let me know that Robbie has a flat face. So his ability to take shots and punches straight on is very strong, especially if you're playing a teeter-totting, patty cake war with him. But if you catch him on the side and you hit him clean, you hit him flush, I've always said this, and guys don't take me seriously until I get in there with them. The punches you do not see that come with quite a bit of speed are the ones that put you down. I was the first person that really, really sent him down like that. I was the first person that really, really sent Koscheck down like that. Jay Heron down like that, Andre Galval down like that. I was the first for many of those guys because they really miscalculate how fast I can get to them and how much distance I can cover in such a short time. Watching film and being on, other end of the punch is a different thing.
Wow, that is fascinating. Now that it's over, can you take us back to, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday? I noted when I was on Luke Thomas's radio show that you had a bit of a chip on your shoulder and you were giving everyone the same answer. I don't know if you know this, but I was watching Hillary Clinton's speech on Thursday, her big speech, Democratic National Convention, the local news in Atlanta, and then it goes to the local news right after Hillary's speech, and one of the top stories was you at the media day giving them the same answer. It was crazy. Like literally 5 minutes later. Why were you doing that?
Well, this is what I felt. I feel like in general the fight could have been promoted a little bit better. We kind of got smashed in between UFC 200 and UFC 202. It wasn't a ton of publicity and a ton of marketing done for the film. I mean, not film, for the I'm thinking ahead for the actual fight. And with that said, I wasn't the champion at the time, so I didn't really feel compelled, and I didn't have the financial, the financial incentive to really push the fight and go above and beyond. So what I did is I did Champ Camp. I wanted to show you guys what it took to get to this point, the sacrifices. I want to show you my family. I want to give you the things that you might not be able to get on a UFC Embedded or a Countdown. So I put all my energy in myself. They didn't set me up to go to Fast and Furious set. They didn't set me up, to meet with Dwight Howard and all these guys. Those are relationships that I built my own stuff, and I didn't feel obligated. So why am I going to tell you 3 days before a fight, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this, I'm going to knock his head off, and you're going to see in 3 days. So if you guys can be patient, the cage will lock, we'll get in a fight, and you'll see. But I told you guys, I'm going to leave everybody mouth on the ground, and everybody's going to be in awe, and they're going to be shocked, and that's what happened.
201 was significant not only because you became champion, but also it was sort of the unveiling of the new UFC owners. Ari Emanuel, Patrick Whitesale were there of WME IMG. Did you see them in the back after you were champion?
You wanted to make sure I met them. They already know that I'm in the entertainment world. They already know that,
Oh, wait. We're losing you here, and I want to hear what you have to say. It's getting all, distorted. Can we call you on your cell? Because we've lost you.
Yeah, you can call me on my cell.
Okay, we're going to call him on the cell because this is a good time to hear from him. We're going to call Tyron right now. I want to hear what he has to say there. Like I said, somewhat, historic, if you want to call it that. Lorenzo Fertitta no longer there. The sale isn't complete, but Ari Emanuel and Patrick Whitesale of Cell of WME IMG were in attendance, sitting cage side. Patrick was at the weigh-ins, standing next to Dana White and Joe Silva. So it was the dawn of a new era. They were there in full force. Tyron, you there?
I'm here. Sorry about that, guys.
No problem. We hear you perfectly now.
Yeah, I'm actually in Houston, Texas. My son's running the Junior Olympics, so I'm en route to go and watch him smoke a couple of people in the 100 meters.
Doing it just like his dad. And I appreciate you squeezing us in, and we won't keep you much longer, but I'm just wondering if you actually spoke to the new owners.
Yeah, I did speak to the new owners. The reps of the UFC thought it was important. They kind of rushed me to the guys, wanted me to meet them, because I had set up for all the guys from Fast, the set of Fast 8 to come, and the guys from WME was like, well, some of these guys we actually represent, so let us take it into our hands. We want to make sure they get the experience they should get, as far as the celebrity VIP treatment. And then I met those guys, and I think they know that, I've done some films and stuff like that. Hopefully it's something good for me. Hopefully something, branches from this, and it makes my job getting movies and parts like that a little bit easier. But I tell you right now, I've already committed to 3 movies in the last 3 days, and I had 2 other that I might not be able to do.
Wow.
There's 5 potential films I could be working on.
Since you became champ?
Since I became champ. Actually... Two before, and then 1 after.
Wow. Did they talk to you about what they see in you, what they want from you, the potential they see, plans they have for you? Did you get to talking about any of that?
Well, one of the guys I've been trying to work for a while is actually supposed to work today on a television show called Rosewood. But I wanted to make sure, I get my body checked out. My head was a little sore after punching Robbie upside the head a few times. So I didn't want to go to Fed, and they want me to do a stunt that I didn't feel comfortable doing. So I thought I had to pull out of doing that one. But I'm doing one Thursday. My head's already feeling better. Thursday, I'll be working. I don't know if I can even say this, but yeah, I'm working on a Marvel movie on Thursday.
Wow.
In Atlanta.
Congratulations.
Yeah.
Atlanta's treating you very well. Okay, so now let's talk about the future plans. Everyone's talking about you. You've ruffled some feathers. Others are saying more power to you. Can you explain? Okay, so this is the situation. You want the most money possible, right? We know that. And you,
For sure.
You want either GSP or Nick Diaz, right?
Yep.
Is there one over the other that you think gets you more money at this point?
I mean, this is what I want. It's not only the most money. It's a two-bird, one-stone situation. I want to say I'm the best in the world. Right now, I'm the UFC welterweight champion of the world. People can say I'm the best in the world, but I've never fought Georges St-Pierre, and Nick Diaz is not a retired fighter. So why not compete against Nick Diaz, who is definitely a top 5? I feel like his brother finally cashed in on that big payday, but I do believe Nick Diaz has brought enough attention to the sport, raised enough eyebrows, put enough butts in seats, sold enough pay-per-view buys. Well, maybe he kind of deserves, since we're using this word deserve so much, maybe he deserved a cash out. And that's why I made a suggestion on UFC 202. It's 3 weeks away. I'm in great shape. And I know he's training with his brother, getting ready for this fight. Secondly, Georges St-Pierre is the best of all time. I can say, I'm better than George, but I'm not competed against him, so I can't really make that bold statement. If Georges St-Pierre decides that he wants to come back and he's interested in fighting me, which he is, that's going to be my number one pick. But in hindsight, I would like to fight both of them. I would like to prepare myself, get through Georges St-Pierre, shock the world once again, really state that I'm the best in the world, and then after that, I would like to fight Nick Diaz as well. Because those two fights, nobody can ever say I'm not one of the best welterweights on the planet Earth. If I knock out Robbie Lawler, who was the Goliath of the weight division, everybody was thinking he was so invincible and unbeatable. And if I knock off GSP and Nick Diaz, I pretty much cemented myself in a UFC Hall of Fame.
And I know you saw this morning GSP telling me that he's interested in fighting you. I know you said it publicly, but when you were backstage, did you say this to the UFC brass? And if so, do you think they're interested in this?
I think they were already getting calls. I think Dana kept looking at me and smiling and said, we'll talk soon, I'll call you on the phone. I think George and Nick, before I even stated it, showed interest. I'm pretty sure Nick's managers had already started hitting Dana up about fighting me.
Huh.
And this is a business, man. Like Nick knows I respect him. He's one of the best that's ever done it. He's so durable. He's given us some of the best fights that we can even remember. But, man, how awesome would it be to compete against a guy at that level? Every time I fight a guy, the higher they are, the higher I bring my game out. And I'm trying to get I'm trying to see how far I can go. I want to really see how far I can push this. And, those are two guys that definitely bring it out. If you don't, you're gonna get beat up pretty good.
Here's what I appreciate about you. You're very real and consistent, because people who have been following you for a very long time know that in 2011, when Nick Diaz was about to fight Paul Daly, you showed up to the weigh-ins with I Got Next, right? With a T-shirt. Yep. You were there. So you've been calling for this fight for 5 years and then some. You were saying this stuff about Nick and GSP on Thursday. You were talking, so you haven't changed your tune. But let me offer you this counterpoint, because I know you've gotten it. Around 5 months ago, you were on this show after 195 and said, look, I know there's Connor out there and Robbie out there, Carlos and GSP and Nick and all these people, but I'm the guy. I should get it because I've done enough. I've earned it, etc., etc. Wonder Boy is saying those same things. From an athletic standpoint, it's hard to deny that. So why doesn't he get the next shot? Why doesn't he, who was you 5 months ago, get the next shot? Do you get what I'm saying?
Well, he wasn't me 5 months ago because he hasn't been in the sport long enough. You got to realize that even before this, I was fighting top 10 competition in Strikeforce. Paul Daly was the 9th-ranked overall welterweight when I was competing against him, off of a fight, one of the best first rounds we've seen in MMA when he fought Nick Diaz. And also, Wonder Boy's words have bit him in his butt. I mean, he is the one. I didn't put these words in his mouth. I got the quote, which I'll post a little bit later. He said he felt this Robbie Lawler would take this fight. He felt that the fans would want to watch Robbie Lawler fight against Stevie Wonderboy Thompson. It would be a more exciting fight that I would fade in the later rounds, and he felt like Robbie Lawler was going to take it home. So when you make those bold statements, and you're not the pay-per-view buy, you're not the money fight, you're not the people are not going to be jumping off the wall buying pay-per-view to watch Stevie Wonderboy fight. He does, not to say in his career that won't happen. He's an exceptional fighter. He's beaten two phenomenal athletes back-to-back. But when he said those words out of his mouth, he wrote a check his ass couldn't cash. So now he'll get a chance to fight Robbie Lawler, and I'll go out and I'll prove I'm the very, very best in the world by fighting the Hall of Famers.
Does it bother you that people don't see where you're coming from here, that you have to explain yourself? Because I see the Twitter mentions and things that are coming your way. Are you blocking that out? Are you getting more support?
I haven't read those negative comments. You know, I've been on a really you know, you read something, you just skim it.
Yeah.
I skim my social media. I've been doing it for the last 3 weeks. I skim it, see if it's a friend, a training partner, someone I know, a professional athlete, a celebrity. Or if I really, really want to skim, I'll go to verify accounts only. And I'll only look at those deals because at the end of the day, I'm the one that's in control of my bank account. I'm the one that's in control of my 4 kids, my wife, the house that I want to pay off this year. These things are realistic goals that are within reach with the right fight. So I don't have to explain to them. I don't go to their house and say, hey, I don't think you should get this promotion because Johnny, your coworker, deserves it more than you. I'm going to go tell your boss. And I'm going to get this other guy the promotion. I don't do that. So with that said, you know, I'm not taking away anything from Stevie Wonderboy. He's a phenomenal fighter. He's done a great job. He's not new as far as competition or youth, but he's fairly new to the higher levels of mixed martial arts. You know, think about when Johnny Hendricks had beat Martin Kampman, John Fitch, Koscheck, Carlos Condit, and what happened to him? Nick Diaz came along, he fought Georges St-Pierre because he was a bigger draw, bigger name. Same thing happened to Rory McDonald. Same thing happened to Frank Yeager. We didn't see the immediate, title shot against Conor McGregor, though he deserved it. We saw him about to fight RDA. When that fell through, he fought Nick. So when you get to this point, in my opinion, you can start calling some of the shots. Georges St-Pierre said he wanted to fight me. I'm going to say yes.
Mm-hmm. He has said that he wants to fight in New York. Given your busy schedule coming up with the movies and all that, would you be ready to fight in November?
Oh, for sure.
Okay.
For sure. I mean, I'm not doing what Ronda's doing. I'm not doing like a super long 6-month stretch. I got 2 weeks on this movie. I got 3 days on another movie. I'm not going to be on these long stretches, so I'll be fine. Okay. I'm not going to allow myself to get out of shape, man. I didn't get hit. I didn't get punched one time on Saturday.
Wow. That is amazing. Win the title, don't get punched. 2 last quick things. Is the champ going to get paid now? Like, are you going to get a new contract, that whole deal, pay-per-view points, all that stuff?
I believe so. I can't imagine that someone will come out there and put it on that type of performance against a guy who was a fighter of the year, who's probably had the fight of the year this year with Carlos, the fight of the year last year with Rory, and it was a very, very... It's funny that Robbie said he didn't get the respect. I think he was given the proper respect. I think he had to tell himself that, to keep the chip off his shoulder. But just in general, it was weird hearing him say that. And he's a very, very highly regarded, very loved fighter of the UFC. And for me to completely esteem him like that, man, I would expect a nice contract change and some different, incentives in there, and especially leading to the GSP fight.
Last thing, we saw you win. We saw the knockout. We saw the reaction, all that stuff. But is there a moment? Is there something that sticks out that you will always remember about this weekend? A moment backstage with your wife, your mom, when you told your kids. Is there something that just really made this that much more special for you that you'll always remember that you can share with us?
It's a few moments, My wife walks up to me, as we always do a prayer before I walk out. And, before I walk out of the hotel, she prayed and she said, you're going to do it. And God gave you the tools his mission is for you to go out here and do this and give it back to the community, give it back to your family. He know you'll do the right thing with exposure. And she said it's already done. And for somebody to make a bold statement like that, they don't have to get locked in there with ruthless Robbie Lawler, I received that. The second thing is when I dropped down to my knees, I realized it was real when I was in the octagon. And I envisioned that moment. I envisioned having that moment with God where I was like, man, it happened. I mean, everyone said it wouldn't. Everyone said I couldn't be able to do it. Everyone's counting me out my whole life. And then the third and final moment is when I walked in this morning, because I haven't seen my kids yet. I just saw them this morning for the first time.
Oh, wow.
And they were asleep, and I laid that heavy belt on their back.
Oh.
And they started rolling around and moving around, and they woke up and they saw it, and just the look on their face. And I said, hey, we've been talking about this, for a long time, right, guys? I said, if you ever want to do something, if you ever want to be somebody, or if you want to achieve a goal, if you put your hard work in, you can do that. What better way to show your kids that seen you injured, they've seen you lose, they've seen you face adversity, they've seen politics. My oldest son has seen people say negative stuff about me on social media, and then they see you never give up. They see you never quit. They see you work your ass off, and finally they watch their dad get a UFC gold belt wrapped around their waist. Those 3 moments I'll never forget. I could walk away from the sport, and those be enough to make it work.
Wow. Man, getting me all emotional there with the kids. That was beautiful. Wow. I got to say, very happy for you. It was something else. I got to sit cage side for this fight, and we were right next to your whole family. They were sitting in front of the barrier. Your mom was there, your wife was there, some other family members, and it was amazing just watching them the whole time as you were walking out. I was just looking at them, seeing, we don't often get that perspective, and just seeing how sort of anxious they were and then how happy they were for you was really just a beautiful sight. You've always been so gracious, Tyron, and nothing's different here with your time as champion. Well-deserved. Congratulations. Enjoy it. And way to call your shot, my man. You called it. You did it. Wow. What a story. Enjoy the belt. And again, thank you so much. And good luck to your son as he competes in the Junior Olympics this afternoon in a matter of moments, right?
Yeah, matter of moments. I'm hustling there now. And happy birthday. It's somebody's birthday on set. In the studio. I don't know who it is, but happy birthday, whoever you are.
Yeah, the guy who called you, he has always said that you're his favorite guest in the history of this show because you keep it real. And now here you are as champ coming on his birthday, New York Rick. So he appreciates you very much.
Thanks, Tyron.
All right, guys. You guys have a blessed day, man. Appreciate you guys.
Much love, Tyron. There he is, the UFC welterweight champion, Tyron Woodley, giving a shout out to New York Rick on his way out. How about that? I mean, how can you not love that guy? Beautiful stuff. It was amazing to watch his mom sitting there in front of the barrier, his wife sitting there. Great people. They were there from the get-go. I was watching his wife, and you could tell she was a little nervous. It was the Joanna Jędrzejczyk Karolina fight. Not Joanna, the Rose Namajunas Karolina Kowalkiewicz fight. And she was like, okay, let's hurry this up. And then he comes out to the king without a crown. King. He's like, boom, 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 boom. And then we got Robbie Lawler coming out with the hold on, doom, 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 doom. And then it's like, it's taking forever. And I kept watching. I was like, we don't have that perspective of the thing. Like I'm liking it. The music's fun. The energy's fun. I see Dwight Howard over there. Ludacris is over there. Ari Emanuel's over there. This is all fun. But for the family members, that's got to feel like an eternity, right? I mean, whoa. What an amazing thing. And then he goes out there and it starts off a little slow and then bam, missile. Tyron Woodley, welterweight champ.